and just to make sure that we are beyond reproach and that we do have that independent voice, that third-party voice, and the task force may end up making that, so time will tell. So do we have any, do you have a motion?
Thank you, Mayor. Great summary there. Okay, so I think it may be, just for clarity's purpose, how about I'll make a motion to create the task force, and then after that, nominate and/or appoint the 3 members separately. Is that okay? Or do you
We
want to
can do it all at one time.
All at one time. Okay, thank you. Motion to appoint a 3-member task force to investigate our water issues using the approved scope, with the 3 members being Chair Ed Martin, Technical Advisory Bob Bocock, and our Acting City Manager Margie Rose.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Did you have any? I don't have any lights on. Did you have something, Mr. Hunter? Okay, go ahead. Mr. Hunter voted no. We'll record that. Okay. And Mrs. Vaughn?
With Mr. Hunter voting no, I'm just curious, is there a concern that we have on what we're doing?
I just would have liked, sorry. First of all, this was brought up on Monday. 1. 2, I would have liked to talk about the people who we're putting on the committee before voting today. That is all. Thank you.
Okay. Did anyone approach any of these people as far as... go ahead, Mr. McGill.
Mayor, I'll take responsibility. I reached out to former council member, former city manager Ed Martin, and asked if he would be willing to lead us in this effort. He graciously said yes. He had some initial concerns originally with travel arrangements, but they can set their meetings and their times and dates appropriately. And then Mr. Bocock, I think, had already attended our special meeting on water, and I think his resume and expertise speaks for themselves. I think he's been a 32-year member with the American Water Works Association, as is the city of Corpus Christi. He's advised and worked in over 150 different cities with both high chlorine levels like Tyler, Midland, worked with TCEQ, of course us with having low chlorine or chlorine residuals. I think he's seen it all, and I think he'd be a great technical advisor, and I don't think we can go wrong at all with our acting city manager, Margie Rose. So that's the homework that I did, but I certainly respect everybody's views.
Well, and after the meeting, I had talked to Mr. Bocock and wanted to have him. I actually had a conversation saying, as we move forward with the investigation, there is some element I would hope that he would be involved with as far as in the investigation. Now, these are unilateral conversations. It was when Mr. McGill introduced him to me afterwards. And but with all that said, I hear what you're saying, Michael, and I think it's a valid point. But if the reason I'm willing to take pause is to make sure that also on the local side that I believe we do need an independent third-party investigator. I believe it has to be someone with water operational experience. And but as far as on the balance of this, if we have the first phase, go back to get them the basis from 2007 going forward, and then come up with a recommendation as far as knowing that they have the scope to work with. I think that is more vetting. It's more preliminary vetting that we can have to make sure that we do this correctly. Because in the end, it does have to be professional expertise from a third-party water operator. And but I'm comfortable with taking a step to do this preliminary information, to get the foundation information, to have that overview, to saying, okay, here's the next step to finish the investigation. And so I really hear what you're saying. I just wanted to make sure I was open about how my thoughts were and how they evolved. It's important for you to hear that. Yeah.
Could I say something else, Mayor?
Yes.
it's not that I don't have full faith in our city manager or Mr. Martin. I haven't had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Bocock, and I would like for more people to be on the committee, not just a three-man team. That is all. I think it needs a broader perspective. I think that there's a lot of different people here that can help, and I do definitely think we need a third-party investigative team. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
100%
I
agree.
think that, and I'm going to make sure I articulate, I can't say that enough, we need a third-party independent team. And you know what, Michael, maybe that's the next phase, possibly, okay? And so, but I couldn't agree more with the basis of what Mr. Goddess, where he's coming from. Do you have anything else? Yeah.
And maybe Michael's right, maybe we need one more, I don't know, maybe you have a recommendation, but the names that were given, Ed Martin, I do not know him, but I know he's got a great reputation, and I feel comfortable with that because I think he knows the city. Bob Botock has a great resume. As for Margie, the only thing that I could see there, Margie, would be that someone may say that it was a conflict of interest because you are the city manager, and they may say, well, something could be covered up. I don't believe that, but I can see where some people might say that, but I do think you need to be on there. But I can possibly see that from the public. So I think we need to be careful about that as well. But, I mean, I don't object if we have another name out there that we want to put one more person on there.
Well, it has to be an odd number because of voting. Yeah, just to, it makes sense as far as building consensus. Yeah, and so, but I'm certainly open to conversation. This is why we do this all out in the public. And Mr. Garza.